This is Gene Veno today in Denver, Colorado at the NAIC convention, and I have joining me a special guest. I'm honored to have the Insurance Commissioner of Georgia, but also I understand the candidate for governor on the Republican Party. Welcome, John Oxendine.
Good to be here with you, Dave.
Well, thank you. I'm so honored for you to be here today. I saw what you were doing yesterday. You were very busy when you flew in, and you have meetings all over. Let's talk in two different parts of this interview. As Insurance Commissioner, I understand you've been there a long time. How many years have you been there?
I'm actually in my 16th year.
16th.
Believe it or not, I'm the most senior commissioner now. I guess that makes me the old man of the crowd.
And you're a very young man, and you're very articulate. I hear only great things that come out of your state about you. What has been the success for those 16 years that have kept you there? Because it is an elected office, unlike other states.
It is. I've been elected 4 times by the citizens, and I think one thing is that you always put the consumer first, the
Absolutely.
Georgia voter. You know, it's one thing I like about elected commissioners is you focus on your boss, and your boss is the everyday voter. And if you make decisions that will try to help them and try to really, you know, do what you think they would do in your situation, then the voters are going to like you, they're going to trust you and continue to re-elect you, and that's what's consistently happened.
But that is an honor to be elected that many times by the citizenry of your state. You must have come up to some issues in those 16 years. Give me some of the tougher issues you've worked on in the insurance industry.
Well, of course, one issue we worked a great deal was the military life sales, where a lot of life insurance companies were taking advantage of our men and women in uniform and really overcharging them and giving them subpar products. That's one thing we were very glad we cracked down on. Over the years, we've done a lot on workers' compensation reform.
Yes, you have.
We came to office in the mid-90s when workers' comp market was a terrible mess, especially in Georgia, and we really had to reform that and make a lot of changes. And we consistently have had the growing issue of should the federal government take a larger role in insurance regulation. Of course, now we've seen what they're doing with health insurance, but the question is, should they get into home and auto and everything else? And that's been a reoccurring situation. And I've really enjoyed working on the international level and working with various projects on the international level as well. I remember at one time I even participated in helping to negotiate some parts of an international treaty dealing with some reinsurance things. So it's been a lot of things over the years, and I've really enjoyed trying to help the consumers and make the insurance industry better and more efficient.
What a history of expertise. As you know, I'm here on behalf of the American Association of Public Insurance Adjusters, a client that I represent on a national level. Can we talk a little bit about the public insurance adjuster and their role in the insurance industry and how they serve the consumer as well?
Adjusters do such an important job, and they really are there to give that view, to give that independent view. Even though they might be paid, you know, they really give a lot of an independent view and really help the consumer. So many people will go and use the public adjuster because they don't know what to do, and they don't know if what the insurance adjuster is telling them is right or not, and it really gives them a great tool to really help negotiate. And then we really view them as really being partners with us, because what we try to do is really mediate these cases and get them resolved. And lots of times the consumer really doesn't know if they're getting a fair deal. We've had a lot of public adjusters have looked at a case and said, go call Oxendine, call him, let his people take a look at it. And we've gotten involved, and we resolved a lot of cases for consumers that were actually sent to us by public adjusters. Some of my dearest friends are in the business, and I think they perform a very good service.
Well, I thank you, Commissioner Oxendine, for that eloquent statement. We appreciate that. I like to switch gears now. I see and been following you. You're running for governor. And I see you're in a field of about 8 candidates in the Republican Party. 7, okay.
Let's hope we don't pick up another one.
And your election day is?
July 20 will be
That's
the
different
primary.
than most states, is it
Yes,
not?
well, that'll be the Republican primary.
Okay.
Of course, November will
is
be the ultimate general.
Right, and I've been doing some research on you and the Team to Victory, Road to Victory. You have an excellent team assembled, with you being the leader. I read about your blog about jobs, and I like to hear that. Can you just tell me what you would do when you are governor in 2011 as to creating jobs in your state?
Well, I think one of the most important things a governor does in any economic situation is create jobs, especially in this economic situation. And one thing I think Georgia has done a pretty good job is recruiting a lot of the big corporations,
yes,
international companies and national companies. But I think we have also forgotten a lot of our homegrown businesses.
Absolutely.
You know, the local entrepreneur, the small business person. In my opinion, entrepreneurs will create many more jobs to bring us out of this economic situation than the large corporations. And we really need to take these entrepreneurs and really embrace them. We need to make sure they have access to venture capital. We need to make sure they have a very favorable tax climate, because we are seeing a lot of situations of where there'll be Georgia entrepreneurs who will leave Georgia, go to another state because they feel like growing their business in that other state is more advantageous, and we don't want that. We need these homegrown businesses. Another thing for a lot of economic development, a lot of states, and Georgia's been one of them, so like they just take a shotgun approach. Just go, for any company that wants to come to Georgia, we want you to come here. Well, we don't want to say no to anybody, but I think we need to be a little more calculating.
Absolutely.
States like North Carolina have done a very good job of saying, what are we best at?
Great.
And really focus on going after those states that they are best at recruiting and can really beat the other states at. And I think we need to be a little more surgical in how we go after and attract companies to move to the state.
Well, Commissioner Oxendine, that is one of the best clarifications I ever had and heard about bringing in businesses, because you do know, as you stated in your campaign speeches, and I've read about you, the most valuable resource is your citizenry. And I really thank you, Commissioner Oxendine. This is Gene Veno with John Oxendine, Insurance Commissioner over 16 years, Dean of the Insurance Commissioners here at the NAIC Conference, and now candidate for Governor in Atlanta, Georgia, the state of Georgia. We're so honored to have you here today, and I thank you so much, and I wish you the very, very best, John.
Well, thank you, and thank you for everything the members of your association do for the consumers.
Thank you very much.